next to you. Life's a bitch and I plan to make the most of it. Judging me like you something to show for. They're preaching for the preachers and I'll be a teacher. Shit flows out your mouth and I hope you choke on it. Playing this game, you think I'm insane? Or prove you wrong while I'm making the most of it. Think that I'm lost, but still pay cost. I got news that's better, so blazing out for you. I'm breaking all the rules tonight. Not going down without a fight. As long as I'm still breathing, doesn't matter how hard you might try. You can't take this freedom.
Hey everyone, this is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. So this is our weekly live stream where once a week we'll do a live Q&A. We don't have any idea what we're going to talk about. We're just gonna jabber. We're just gonna chat as developers. We're gonna have a talk about what's new in the app world. We're gonna talk about, tell you guys what's going on, like what's going on with the videos. Talk about what's new in technology, etc., etc., etc. So this week I've had like a lot of client meetings. I'm still wearing my suit shirt because I've been in the suit 3 times this week, which is for me is rare. It's I mean it should be more often, more client meetings, but a lot of traveling around. It's a bit hot in the office, so it's been a bit of a warm week. So, and the other thing I was doing was finally I purchased another course on Flutter, another one. This one is by Fireship.io, because I like his style, but it's a very short course. I was like really close to going on one that was cheaper on Udemy, which was like 58 hours or something, like some really long course. And then I saw the one by Fireship.io, which I really like his YouTube videos, so I thought I bought that one for like $19. The other one was like $11, and the other one was much shorter, Fireship, but it seems to be okay, but it seems to be really, really quick. And I just need to put the time aside to sit down and do that. I mean, it's not the first time I purchased a Flutter course or started a Flutter course, but you know what? We're going to start doing that. So anyway, so that's on the development side. Oh, and the other thing I've been doing this week, I've been doing a lot of coding this week. I've been doing a lot of meetings and a lot of coding. The other thing I've been doing is going through and doing the Corona app for a client, but also I went through and redeployed nearly all of my Corona games to Google Play, and I finally found a way to do the continuous integration. Well, not so much continuous integration. It's like not like when it builds, it's not like proper, but just have something that goes through and says, okay, take the code, make the transformations, make it this language, make it paid or free, and then compile it, the APK, upload the APK to Google Play, go to the next one, which usually would take me a day or two just to go through and do that process because Corona didn't really have, I mean, they had a Corona builder, but I could never find the documentation for it. So I finally found that, and it's just been it's been really cool just deploying all that stuff. And the other thing was playing around with the prices on the apps and just watching my ads each day. So there was one day this week where I was running ads for, because it's been doing all right for one of my apps, and I thought I'll do it for like 3 of them on the same day. And of course you set like a £5 limit, and the first day is like £18 for each app. So like there's one day where I spent like 98 pounds on advertising, and I made about 40 pounds. It was like a really bad experience. I mean, that happens, just shut that stuff off, even though part of me thinks, let the machine learning take over. Let the machine learning learn a little bit. So anyway, that's been my week. So let's see. We got Mega Man's first. Hey, you're first all the time. So Adnan Warriax Vlogs. Hey, how's it going? Doxy Tech, hi, how are you? Christopher Nordbo, how are you? Hussein Gokas, Billy, how are you? Delayed audio again. Do we have delayed audio? Please tell me we don't have delayed audio. Let me try one thing here. Sorry, I didn't look at this. How's the audio? Is the audio okay? Could you guys let me know? Sorry about that one, Krister. Sorry. Let's see. Bart Rocka, happy Friday. Delayed video. Okay. BizYG, what's up, Eric? What's up, BizYG? How are you? Phil J, ciao from Phil. Glad to have finally made the live stream. Glad you're here, Phil. Glad you can make it too. Doxatech says, question. Do you think you will have another spy app? I've been saying spy apps so much this week. Do you think you'll have another app that will be more successful than EarSpy, or do you have something in the works? I do think so. I mean, I have lately. I've been doing a lot of client work, and there's still apps that I put out that I think should do better. And I think, and this is one of the things I want to experiment with the ads a bit more. I was just saying right now how I have ads that are not doing well for these apps, which are very specific for learning a specific language. And I think it's the way that, because I'm using Google Universal App Campaign rather than like a Facebook ad, and those ones are so niche that a Facebook campaign would probably be better for them. But I haven't gone through and put the Facebook publish install functions in there so that I could track whether or not they actually made it through. But that's something I still think those should work. I have other ideas and things that I've started, but a lot of times I'll start something and it's just knowing whether or not you want to continue with it. So like there's client stuff that just take more time. It's so, I mean, I think one of the difficult things about doing client work is that, or even just working on anything creative on your own, is that it's easy to talk yourself out of it. It's easy to talk yourself out and say, I would like to work on this today, but I should do this other thing. So, but yeah, definitely Doxatech. I mean, I think you talk to anybody who's creative, they don't think, oh, my best work is behind me. No, but they think, they might be I think everybody, even if you talk to somebody who had like a hit album in the 10 or 20 years ago, they're probably thinking like, oh, the next one's going to be good. They're not thinking, no, that was my peak and everything's downhill from here. No, I don't. I do think I'm going to have something better than that. And then there's other things too. So yeah, I do. Bart Rocka says, anyone notice a new App Annie website update? I haven't. They made a free version even better. Oh, I haven't looked at it since last Friday. I think I only look at it on the live streams. So, and I don't look it up for my own apps all that often anymore. Aiden Mac, yo Eric, yo Aiden, I did it. Josh says, did you get the DMCA request down yet, Eric? I haven't. No, that was one of the things. I looked at it when I saw that thing. I thought, at first I was really upset about it, and then I'm still kind of upset about it. I need to do it. It's like, it's filling in the form, doing this. I need to. I think I see something on Ruina's future. Do that on Monday. Maybe I'll get her to do it, because it's like I just hate filling in the forms and doing all this stuff. I thought it was more like I just wanted to show you guys before it gets taken down. And I haven't checked. I should check to see whether or not the video was like a bad idea, like if a whole bunch of people bought it. But I don't see why they would. You know what the thing about reskins and buying code like that is it filters on. I mean, it clings to the idea that the idea is the important thing. Like what it does is more important than the marketing, right? Like you say, if you were able to buy all the code for Facebook today, right, and you were just saying, I've got all the code for Facebook, I'm going to set up my alternate Facebook, it would not be worth as much, because you don't have any of the marketing or the sweat equity into it. One of the good things about this, though, is all the clones out there, at least I've got the top spot still. Now that's not going to be the same forever if I don't do something about it. I mean, it's especially when they copy the name and the title. So anything I do in terms of marketing the name or trying to get some recognition out there is going to be taken on based on that. But if somebody takes the idea and reskins it as a different name, it's not going to be that impressive. And this is one of the things that I think reskinners found when they purchased all the code and they were putting out. I know guys who were doing 10 apps a day on App Store back in 2013, 2014. And it was that's why we got so much clutter out there. But no, I need to do that. Josh, it's just like it's just been a busy week. There's been so much. It seems like I'm always apologizing for not getting things done. Like I'm always like, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna get that out. I'm gonna get that over to you. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be, just so much to do. There's so much to do sometimes. Ada Max says, do you use software to publish your apps? So I just use, no, I don't. I still do the old fashioned, I just do the old fashioned upload. So like if you use Corona, you compile it and then it opens up the app uploader for iOS. If you do it through Xcode, and it automatically opens up, it builds it, and then you just go to upload there. When I use Android Studio, I just go to the build folder, build outputs generated APK, whatever it is, and then I go find the release version, and then I just drag that into that. Now, so this is what I was doing. I was using Fastlane this week, so which made it a lot faster just to do the upload. And that's but I'm still using command line. So I have a Node.js script, and it's not like triggered based on every time you build or anything like that. It was just like it just does it when I do it. So because there was a thing about continuous integration, which I think is really good, especially if you're on a team project, and to run all the unit tests. So like a continuous integration system, for those guys who don't know, and again, I've worked on places where they've had continuous integration, but I've never been that actively part of it. But they were just like someone who sets up continuous integration. They're like they've got a sparkle in their eye because they can't wait to tell you how cool it is. So like say, okay, so once we compile it, we check it into Git. Once it's into Git, then or Subversion, it's back in the day. Once it's into Git, then the continuous integration engine will take it and compile it, and run all the unit tests. And if it doesn't compile, then a notice will go off. If it does compile, it will take it, deploy it to the staging server, and is constantly just going through and doing that. And it will update these Jira tickets and all kinds of stuff. And everything is just like really well automated. Like it's very, very meta. It's like it's the developers writing the tools for developers, and it's really, really cool. I mean, I think I had so much fun this week writing the code that was compiling the apps and then uploading them. So like the next time, and the problem I'm having, well, I talked about this before. I'm just rambling on. I talked about this before, but Corona had something on their blog post for the past few weeks saying they don't have the 64-bit compiling in there, but it turns out that they do, but it's still in the daily builds. So where I did get it to compile for the client app, but for my applications, which use the AdMob plugins, I kind of get it to work, and that could just be me. But at least the 64-bit version is coming, and my faith in Corona is restored, and I've just been enjoying getting that up there. But I'm still eager to get into the Flutter stuff and do that. So let's see. Docs to Tech says, have you made any in-app purchase subscriptions for Android? Do you prefer that as an alternative to a paid app? No, I don't. I prefer paid apps. I mean, I like in-app purchases because I get it. In-app purchases are, you got the free application and then they can make the purchase. I like that. What I don't like is having to deal with the restoring them, dealing with people complaining that it didn't work for some reason. Like when you get issues, it's easier just to say, look, just re-download it. I'll just refund the application to you. It's just all one big thing. You could test it easier. I hate testing in-app purchases. So you have to test it without it, with it. You have to set up a test account. Like when you go through, if it fails, what happens if they take away the in-app purchase, all this stuff. I just think it's harder to test. But I get it from a usability point of view. And also, if you're buying, like let's say it depends on the user. If I'm buying something for my kids, or something, I guess when they were small, it would be easier for me as a parent just to buy the application, and rather than have to think about going in and buying an in-app purchase. And as a parent, I think the thing I don't like about in-app purchases is they like once you make the purchase, how do you know that's it? How do you know that's the end? Maybe they'll start adding more stuff, and because you have the free version, and that's one thing. I think if you have a paid version, everything should just be included in that. All the new features, all that kind of stuff. right? They made the purchase. They believed in you early on. And everybody else, if they want to just pay just for a little bit, they could do that. But it should be more expensive to make the in-app purchases than it is to make the full purchases, in my opinion. Now, subscriptions I have not done. And this is, as a developer, I'm the opposite. As a parent, I don't like in-app purchases. As a developer, I hate testing them. But like, I really want to do subscriptions. And I haven't done that in any of my apps. I thought about doing it, but it doesn't really make sense for my application because I don't have anything that requires a lot of server space or anything. I mean, I suppose I could do subscriptions anyway. It doesn't make a difference. I've seen an application. I mean, I downloaded a scanner app on iOS, and that, like, as soon as I started using it, oh, it's a subscription. Oh, it was like whatever, $10 a year or something like that, which seems small, but then you're like, dude, why is it a subscription? Everything's contained on the phone. It's not like I'm using server space. It's not like I'm doing anything else, but I bought it, so, because I was in a hurry. Let's see. Yao Johnny says, hi, Eric. Hey, Johnny, how's it going? Yao Johnny. Mustafa says, hi, Eric, how are you? I'm good, thanks. I have bad news. I've installed a new application, but it fits all Google Play policies. I read all of them, but Google completely blocked me and without any rational reason. I think it was a robot that stopped me. I objected, but the result has not changed. I think Google is the devil now. Yeah, I've noticed that Google Play, I noticed the last couple apps I've deployed for clients. Like, I used to say, oh, it should be live like in a couple of hours, and now it takes like a couple days. And I think the last one we did for a client, it was removed. It wasn't rejected. It was removed, and it was because we didn't have a privacy policy. And I've got another one that's pending publication for ages. And so I think they're trying to be a little bit different about things. And I know that Google Play, we talked about this before. There was that blog post where they said if you have an account that is suspicious or questionable. And even if you set up a second account, if they think it's associated, and they won't tell you how they know it's associated, then they will still revoke it and everything there too. And you saw those stories about somebody who hired a developer, and that developer obviously had something wrong with their account or did something suspicious or illegal before. And then, of course, their client, who they built the app for, got their account suspended. And I think they got it restored. But I think just keep going through and keep doing keep appealing it, right? If you didn't do anything wrong, then keep appealing. If you have an account, like if you did something wrong in the past and it's a separate account, I would say still keep appealing it, because you've learned your lesson, and it could be anything. I appealed when a couple years ago when Ear Agent was removed, and I appealed it and they denied my appeal. I was kind of devastated. I kind of gave up. And some people said, you should just appeal it again. And I said, yeah, I've appealed it. I've done, there's nothing I could do, right? I'm just going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. But then I appealed it a second time and I got it. So I would say keep appealing it, right? If they think, and if they're not going to give it back to you, right, all you're doing is wasting a little bit of your time. Just keep appealing it. What are they going to do then? What? They're going to remove your internet? So like I would say keep doing it. Keep appealing it, Mustafa. Let us know how it goes. Billy, audio is great. Cool. Yao Johnny says, I've lost my track. Yeah. Okay. Which is the best translation service you use to translate your app? I've never used a translation service, so I know they're out there, but I did a video about this where I had like the best thing I ever did was translate my app into like the top 20 languages, because it tripled the downloads. You'd think it would made it 20 times, but no, just tripled them. And it tripled the downloads almost overnight, and it was just like this huge bump and it wasn't so much translating the app itself, the APK, it was the description and all that kind of stuff. So because it made it easier for people to find. And when I did that, I think I didn't have that many strings in the app. And then you have the strings, and then you have the description, and you have this the strings on the screenshots. You can't forget those. So basically what I did was I took everything out and I put it into Google Docs. So I put it all the description and the short description, everything in Google Docs. And then I put all the strings.xml stuff in a Google Sheet, and then I made a column for each language, and then I went on Upwork and I said I would hire $5 a language, And every time I say that, everyone says, "Oh, Eric, that's cheap of you." And it's like I want to get as much done for spend as little as possible, right? And I won't apologize for that, because sometimes for some languages I had to go to $10, right? But I would say this is how many words I need. I don't care if you're 15-year-old in your mom's, in your house, in a room at your mom's house, right? I don't care if you're a super translator. I don't need legal level translation, so I don't need one of these translation services. And I did that. And to be honest, sometimes people say, "Oh, this word wasn't translated that well," or whatever. But I didn't go out and spend. I think they wanted to charge me $800 or something to translate what I wanted to translate, and I was like, I just want to spend I spent about 80. I spent hardly anything on it, and even now, like if somebody says the translation's bad, I could just go and do it. I mean, you could do translation in Google Translate, but it would be terrible. So I think as long as it's better than Google Translate, I'm happy with it. So that's what I did. I was really cheap when I did that, and I mean, whenever I go on Upwork. And this is one of the reasons why I don't like Upwork for getting work, is that I look for the lowest cost that I could get, unless it's something that's really, really important to me. And if it was something really, really important to me, I probably wouldn't be on Upwork anyway. And it's just kind of the way that I've done that. So I've never used a translation service. So if anybody has, let me know, because maybe that would have, my life probably would have been easier. It would have been less administrative stuff, because I had so many different like Skype conversations with people, right? And it just like it probably would have been easier if I paid the $800, right, for the translation service. But it doesn't make sense. If I have like an app that's just like a frivolous, fun little app, and I just need it translated, I wouldn't go to the same type of company I would go to with legal documents or something like really important, right? There's no distinction between them. I just want something simple. I don't need complicated. But that's just me. You guys might disagree. Docs to Tech said, would you rather do exclusive apps, your own apps on Android or iOS, or client work? My own apps, hands down every day. And one day that's the way it's going to be. This is why I spent a couple days this week redeploying all my applications, because if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see I put my my AdSense on there, but I don't show my Google Play and stuff. I've done the video on my revenue, and it's just nice when you wake up and the previous day you've made like 110 pounds, right? And for what it used to be like 180, but now it's like 110, and it's just nice because it's work. You're not doing anything for it. It's an asset out there that's working. At client work, you've got to keep the ball moving. I keep things pushing. Even though I've got developers working, I've got my team members doing stuff. I'm trying to do less. I'm still trying to do less of the stuff, but it's still there's still a lot of risk involved there. But your own apps, if you can get it to work, is much better. So and people say, why don't you just do another one like that? I'm so trying to do more like the ones that I have, so that I could keep doing that. It was a huge knock in the jaw when Apple started rejecting things, because they said you got to start consolidating some of your apps. So that made it like, rather than being a prolific app developer, I had to pull back and think, okay, if I create this application, will Apple accept it? Is it even worth putting through to Apple? It kind of is. If I put it on Google Play, if I go Google Play alone, will that work? That kind of stuff. It's really kind of, that's kind of what I'm just rambling on now. Waifu seduction artist. Hello. Got a notification. It would be nice if you use Premiere feature for the forgetful like myself. Oh yeah, how do you? Okay, sorry about that, waifu. Is it waifu? 你是中国人吗？你会说普通话？我可以说一点儿。如果你要谈一谈，我们可以谈一谈，因为我很久以前学了一点儿普通话。But yeah, sorry about that, waifu. I'm saying that just because it's waifu. It could be anything else. But yeah, no, I'll check out that Premiere thing. Everyone keeps complaining about missing the live stream. And then there was 1 week where hardly anybody showed up to the live stream, and I was like, and I ended it early because it was just awkward. It was awkward, just like three of us talking. Shubman, Vikrama Vishwakarma says, hi, love from India, your old subscriber. Sir replied, hey, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. Wi-Fi Blocker says, you, Eric, you, Wi-Fi Blocker. Doxatech says, boy, Doxatech, you're very you're like a toddler. You've got a lot of questions today. Why? So you should do guest interviews on your top followers that are successful or somewhat successful. That would be interesting. Then we would have double audio delay. Have you thought about podcasts? I have. You know what, Doxatech, I have thought about podcasts. In fact, when I got this microphone, it wasn't this one. I had a white one before this. I thought, I want to do podcasts. I thought that would be cool to do podcasts. And even now, I get seduced by the idea of doing podcasts because everybody's doing podcasts, and I think I could do podcasts. But then I think I do the video, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this week I did more videos this week than I have done. I'm trying to get my mojo back. I'm trying to I hate doing videos twice a week. So I got another one going out tomorrow. I hate doing videos twice a week, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna try to do more videos this week and try to get back into the swing of it, because there's something about doing it twice a week is more stressful than doing it daily. Doing it daily was I was proud of the fact that I was getting it done, even though one of the first comments I got was, dude, you talk way too much. So I got that this week, which is kind of like, you read that and you go, oh well, they're guilty. What can I say? So I do the video. I'm trying to increase that and everything, and then I get seduced by the podcast, and I think maybe I'll forget apps altogether, and I could just do videos and podcasts. Maybe I could just skip the dinner and just have the dessert, right? And then I think, then what that would be just like, I'm an app developer, right? So but it would be kind of fun. It would be fun to do a podcast once a week where you actually just sat and talked with another developer who may not want to be on camera. We don't have bandwidth issues or whatever, and just talk about because it's fun when you talk to other app developers. It's fun when you get together with somebody who says, have you ever had a problem with this on AdMob? Oh yeah, man, I had that problem. It's just, it's nice to have those conversations. And I know there's other app developer podcasts out there. I think I've been on a couple of them, but it's funny how quickly they descend into interviewing somebody who has a service for developers. It's not interviewing a developer, it's interviewing somebody who works for a company that sells a service to developers. And it's I don't want to be the target market. I want to learn something, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done the podcast. But yeah, no, I do. It's very seductive to think I could be a podcast guy too, and then I'll talk about being an app developer, but I will I don't want to be talking about being an app developer and then no longer having developed apps, or try to reinvent myself as something else. At least, well, anyway. The audio is mostly synced with the video now, by the way, just a little off. I wonder if it's because I restart my router. I restart the PC, restart the Mac right before, and I wonder if there's different processes still running in the background. So, Matthew Harris. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? Streaming from Malaysia right now in my hotel room. Wow. I wonder it's so hot in here. Tom Francis says, hey, Eric, how's it going, Tom? Wi-Fi Blocker. Peeps might be scared by cloners watching Eric sewing the business over and wouldn't want the same. Eric, that's sad, brutal. Folks are cloning and selling code to clone your app. Yeah, I know. Well, I do. I think I was upset about. I was originally very upset about it. I'm still kind of upset about it, and I just have to go. But I'm not upset about it that I immediately started going, I'm gonna bury these people, because it's just getting so. It's just kind of sad. I remember once seeing, and it wasn't so much that I think they're stealing my business, although yeah, but I can remember once this guy followed me on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn. I was learning all the stuff about LinkedIn and watching all these courses. So I changed my whatever subtitle, my title to, I make apps, and then star app developer. That's all these keywords in my title. And this one guy from India followed me, and he had these aviator mirror sunglasses on. And his description was like mine verbatim. He was we make apps, and it was almost exactly. And I looked at his profile, and he had all these really well written articles, But like if you just go into Google, you can find out he didn't write any of those articles. He's just copying stuff, and it was just like, you just like, there's no authenticity. Like when somebody steals something, and when I say steal, it's not that big a deal. But it's just the fact that you come up with something, you sit down, you think of something, and somebody just takes it. So, and that's the bit that bothers me the most about it. Yao Johnny says, I got an app that's a bookkeeping app. Cool. The app stores all records in a database. A lot of users requesting for cloud storage or backup option, but I have a tight budget. Any suggestion for me? If you're using an iOS, you could probably do the iCloud one. Does it back up into iCloud, like just by default? But I would say cloud storage, because if you don't have a budget, let's say you did something where you exported it so let's say you wrote an export and an import function as CSV, and you included the Dropbox APIs. That way you're not paying for Dropbox, your users are. So if you did it that way, and you, depending on how complicated the database is, if you could export it in a way that is restorable, you could say something like, just make sure you back it up every so often to Dropbox. So if you're moving from one phone to another, you could just sync it that way. And let's say I export everything as CSV or JSON or CSV. JSON would be better, but CSV would be something that they can tinker with, which is probably not a good thing. Let's say you export it as JSON, as a zip file or something like that, and it uploads it to, again, just Dropbox or iCloud or Google Drive or whatever, or even just email it, and then you'd have the import function too. So that way you're not paying for any cloud storage, you're not paying for the old servers or anything like that, and it's up to them to do that, but at least you give them that option. But it's not automatic. It's not like real-time database where I make a change and it's like immediately available, which would be awesome. Let's see. Mark Jamero says, oh wait, where'd it go? So, I apologize sometimes when I lose my place. Mark Jamero says, hi Eric, I've been a subscriber for several months now. Good content. I'm a dev myself. Cool. Nice to meet you, Mark. And you're Mark spelled with a C. Let's see. Wi-Fi Blocker says, I've been in in-app purchase dev all last 2 weeks and developed a blacklist feature to add IAP lol remote shutoff. Oh, that's cool. So this is one of the things I don't tell anybody this, but I don't know if I was to refund somebody's in-app purchase, like on some of my apps, it does check to make sure that they still have that permission, but some of them I might not. I might just do it through config files. But that's something to think about always. If you have an in-app purchase, and if, like, say you just have a variable, like I have a variable that says is full, right? And if they go through and make the purchase and purchase successful, is full sets to true, cool. But maybe I might not have that bit in there on some of them that says, oh, but if for whatever reason it's refunded or whatever, then set it back to not is full is equal to false. And that's something to think about. And that's one of the hard things that is a test. I hate going through and doing that kind of stuff. Let's see. Mark Jamero says, check out my game and feel free to give some thoughts. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this game. I also have open a new tab. Actually, there's I know you guys all made the effort to be here, but I did get one message from somebody. We'll do that towards the end, from Eric Stevens, but we'll do that towards the end. Somebody came through the Facebook group. All right. Excuse me, technical difficulties here. I'll share my screen here in a second. There we go. Oh, it's getting so hot in here. I have to turn the fan off. Okay, so here's this is Mark Jamero's app, Dusky Drones, and you didn't just send me the play page. You actually sent me a landing page. Nicely done, sir. So you have the one thing that you could. So the nice thing about having a landing page is you have the one thing you could send out to people, and so that way they have one place to go. And you've got the video, you've got the links here, screenshots with. You have the screenshots with the annotations to them, which looks really cool. Oh, this is cool. All right, so let's have a look at it on Google Play anyway. Spectrum 6. Can you guys still see me? I think I've lost my video. Can you guys still hear me? Let's see. Okay, so Spectrum 6. So you got the video here, mixing colors, certain challenges. You got 3 reviews. Oh, you know what? You don't have the your screenshots here aren't annotated, Mark. Let's see. My machine is working like a dog here. I don't know why it's going so slow. Let's see. We don't have any. So on the last page, on your landing page, you had. Oh my God. My machine is working overtime here. Okay, so on the landing page, you had the annotated screenshots, but on this page, you don't. Just refresh that again. Making English fun, just popping in to say hi, but late catching in the morning. Thanks. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Making English fun. So, yeah, I think this looks really cool. The only thing is you don't have the annotated screenshots, but Spectrum 6 Premium, that looks cool. You're charging how much for it? You're charging... is this free? $149. Well, yeah, maybe $149 is good. I don't want to say raise the price because you don't want to do it. So let's have a look. Do you have a free version too? Okay, so you just have the paid version. So see how that goes. I'm kind of coming around on the whole paid version thing because, like I said in a video earlier this week, it seems like people are spending more money on apps. I'm speaking to a few people mainly on the iOS side who don't have a free version and they only have the paid version, and they're able to use advertising more effectively. But I think it looks really good. Let's watch the video here. It looks good to me. When did you release it here? 26. Oh, quite a while ago. So, how are we doing? We have how many downloads? 10 plus installs. Ooh, okay. I think you should have a free version. if it's been out a while, Mark, I think try a free version and see if that gets you a little bit more. Because then at least try a free version with in-app purchases. Because it looks like it's not going to be too much. I would say just experiment with that a little bit. Let's see, I'm way behind on the question. Sorry about this. Once again. Mustafa says, thank you for your good advice. Okay, Rohit says, hey Eric, I'm almost done developing my first game and I'm in the final testing stages. Oh, I love the final testing stages. How much testing do you think is enough to confidentially launch the app in the app stores, as we could fix them all? Thanks. Yeah, I think how much testing is enough. This is where I think true developers distinguish themselves. They say you should test until you get all the bugs fixed, and I'm like, you should test until you can't. You're just bored. You've tested it enough. You try it on all your devices. Try it on a physical device. Try everything. If there's anything that like if you have. And there's certain things where, like, let's say you have a certain screen which is at the end of level 10, and it happens if you get to the end of level 10 and your score is below a certain amount and above a certain amount, that's going to take you ages to test that. So that kind of stuff, you might want to do it through code just to make sure you get to that bit. Maybe you might have something in there that does it. Or, like, what I will do sometimes is have, I say unit test would be the best way to test that. But like I might have something where I have like a flag in the code where I compile it and I'll have a button on there that takes me straight to that screen, straight to those conditions, just so I could test those out. But at some point, you're just gonna have to get it on physical devices and test it. And there's gonna be something that happens on a Samsung Galaxy Y from 2016 running Android 4.2.2, and you're just not going to know about until it actually goes live. And so I think there's only so much testing you could do beforehand, but try to get as much done as you can. But there's also a tendency as a developer. To just be testing it. Like, I don't want to test anymore because every time I test, I find another bug. I just want to go live. Which is not a good mentality to have. So I mean, it's your own app, it's your own reputation. So put it out there. As long as it doesn't crash on people's devices, they'll understand. So, I mean, what do the rest of you guys think? Open for Profit says, Hi Eric, sir. I made a game on Looney Tunes and published it on the Play Store, and I ranked second with 18,000 plus downloads. But unfortunately, Google suspended my game because I used their brand name as a title. Ooh, yeah, that's it. I've never actually done. I've had one app that was it wasn't suspended, but it was removed because I used the Academy Awards, and I put the trademark next to it because I didn't know Academy Awards was like a trademark. I thought it was just a thing, right? And I think that was the only time where I've had that happen. But I would say, Open for Profit, I would say appeal it. Say, it was not my intention to, I mean, unless you actually have Bugs Bunny and stuff on there. But I would say it was not my intention to do that. This app has been used by 18,000 people. They all love it. I think, if you give me a second chance, I'd be happy to change the name of this application because I think your user, I mean, don't make it about you, make it about the users. Make it about the people who love your game. They love what you're doing, and just put another appeal in there. I mean, they might say no again, but it's not, don't, when you appeal to Google, don't try to appeal like you've been wronged because, that's not going to help anybody. Appeal to Google in the fact that your users have been wronged, right? The people who buy Android devices and who use Google Play Store have been wronged because of a mistake that you made, and you want to fix that mistake. I would say that, but if you can, and again, they might not do it. Let's see. Bart Raka. Oh, I'm still sharing my screen, aren't I? This is what happens. Let's go over here. One day I'm going to get somebody to help moderate on this so that we don't actually... I'm going to scroll back down to the bottom, make sure you guys aren't complaining about the sound or something. I'm waiting for something. So Bart Raka says One Sky is really good. Okay, this is in terms of the cloud storage, right? Cool. All right, so let's go back to... Yao Johnny says, could you give me the top 20 language list? It was just for me the top 20 languages. So I always, if I'm going to do translations, Yao Johnny, I'll go with Chinese, even though Google Play in China, it's always iffy, but I always go Chinese, simplified, traditional, Korean, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and those are the 5 that I mainly go with, and then it will go to Japanese. I went and did Thai, Vietnamese. I mean, like if you look at the top 20, there's not that much to actually go by. Let me just see if I can get the stats up here so I can show you. Although I don't know if they keep. It's been a while since I looked at this. I'm going to show you my screen here in a minute, but we'll see if we come back to that one. Wi-Fi blocker, last 20% app dev takes 80% time also. Yeah, the last 25% of a project takes 80% of the time, right? It's just getting that done. So I did a video where I talked about how it's sometimes your client will, like if you're doing it for a client, they'll get cold feet and they don't it's not ready to go live. They want to change something. But in other times it's just like that, just getting those little bugs out of the way. This week posting to Facebook. So that was one of the things that we said in this client application that I did. They said, could we post to Facebook? I said, I really hate posting to Facebook. Right? We gotta get permission by Facebook. But I know there's other plugins where you don't have to do that. And so I was using this Corona plugin to post an image to Facebook, and it was last updated a couple of years ago. So like after 4 hours of doing it, I finally had to tell the client, look, we're gonna need a few more days because we need to go through and do it the proper way because I can't get this working. But that is just those kind of things where you think something should just take an hour and it takes 4 or 5 hours. It's infuriating. And sometimes that'll happen at the end of the project, and it just gets warmer and warmer in the office when you do it. Muhammad Amir says, hi sir, some regions you can not put in in-app purchase. Is there a way to fix it without change account? I don't think so. So like if I have a paid application and I go through and I'll do add to countries, it'll usually add all of them except for 4, right? So there's I don't think there's that many countries that don't have in-app purchase, are there? It's only like, my understanding is there's only like 3 or 4 of them, and for those guys, I haven't heard any complaints. I don't even cater for them. I don't even say if there's no in-app purchase, don't show it. I just go through it. I assume that Google could do that, which is bad of me. I don't even cater for that kind of thing. I'm just going into my my analytics here to see if I can find. Okay, we'll do that later. J___ says, how many apps do you have live at the moment? Approximately, on Google Play, I guess approximately 60. But like it's like you look at paid versions, free version, paid version, free version, that kind of stuff. So let me go back to all apps. I'll show you. I think there's nothing sensitive on the Google Play console, is there? Except you can see my suspended apps. So here's what I got. Here are my apps. I got a few suspended. I've got a few removed. I've got a lot of them have been republished this week. If I scroll down, and again, my machine is just like going very, very slow. So I've got 3 pages of applications here, and like a lot of them you don't even see any decent downloads on. But yeah, a few suspensions, a few removals, and then the last page are like, okay, so have a look at these ones. These ones were removed, last updated years ago. I had this plan like initially. People say if you do multiple language apps, should you do like a version for each, or should you just one app with the internals? My first one was I was doing this was like the Chinese, the Mandarin bubble bath, and then the old style of it. And I was like, I want one for Mandarin bubble bath, but if somebody speaks Spanish and they want to learn Mandarin, I want a version for them. And then one if somebody speaks Mandarin and wants to learn Spanish for them. So then I had all these like this grid of all these apps, right? And they all had and it made my console look like vomit because I had too much stuff on here, and it was also bad for ASO because like any reviews didn't count towards the reviews of the other ones. So like if I get reviews in one country, or if I get ratings in one country, if you have all in one languages, all the languages in the console under the one entity, then at least those all count towards each other. So so that's what I was doing to begin with. But yeah, that's how many I have. And like I said, not all of them do well. And this is one of the reasons why, I mean, some of these apps haven't been updated since I removed them from GDPR. I was just like, haven't really done much with them. Because they weren't making a lot of money anyway, but they're still, all the time and effort that went into them, they still have the potential. If you have something which could make you, let's say you have something which could make you $1 next month or not, or $3 next month. Is it worth putting it live? If it's still working and everything, then yeah. So that's hopefully that answers your question. J_____, or is it J? Johan for real says, do you have any approximation of your ad impressions per day? Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, because if I do that, I don't think I'm allowed to say because of the RPMs, but it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot of ads. I think I have said how many I have per month approximately. The thing is, I'm not, I think AdMob doesn't want you to be able to get the RPMs, and I don't want to get my AdMob removed. That would just devastate me. That would be like, you guys would see me like all drunk and homeless on the street with a cardboard sign saying I used to be an app developer. But I stopped making money that way. Phil J says, you mentioned that you are now making about $110 a day, 110 pounds a day, which you were down from $170, 110 pounds, which is almost about the same with the value of the pound at the moment. Have you considered trying to move away from app stores and create web-based applications? I've not, because I think the app stores are like, I haven't. For me, I still think the thing I like about apps is the easy purchases that people can make through them. And I know, you've got ads and everything, but I haven't thought about doing that at all. It hasn't even crossed my mind. I like doing the mobile apps. Because it's what I know. Because it's what I know. Here's the like, if I think about going to web, this is the first thing that goes through my mind, good or bad. Like, this is what goes through my mind. So we can put it. So they're done in Lua. They're done in Corona. Some of these games, if we put them into HTML5, which Corona is starting to support, or it's in beta HTML5 support. So yeah, it's a possibility. And then we put them onto a website. Then how do we get people to the website? Are we going to have to? Who are we going to go to for advertisements? So is it going to be AdSense again? Is that going to be as profitable? And are we able to do interstitial installs that cover the screen when they come through? Or are we going to have to start doing something more tricky that way? And then rather than having, it's bad enough ranking on the Play Store, but we have to rank on the whole web and think what people are searching for, and how do we get people through to that? And then if somebody does like make an in-app purchase, at least to me, maybe it's just me because of the work I do, I think an in-app purchase through an app is more valuable than an in-app purchase through a website, which you may never visit again, right? And it's just, to me, it just kind of makes more sense. But I might be so slightly biased, and I'm kind of lazy too, maybe. I don't want to do that. But it's probably worth giving it a try. At the very least, if I take one of the games and put them on web-based, then that would be something like when I meet with clients, a lot of times I'll show them our existing games and stuff. This is the kind of stuff we've done. I won't necessarily show them clients' games because I think it's kind of, I hate it when somebody shows me all their client work. I only show, this is stuff we've done for ourselves. So I'll show them our stuff, and it would be kind of good to be able to show them that stuff. Miha Devil Jack says, hey Eric, I'm uploading my first iOS game today. Cool. Should I name it Box Jump 3D or longer name like Box Jump Color Game? I think you should name it something. First of all, is Box Jump, is that like a name that's already taken? Because it sounds like, it might be difficult to do it. So Box Jump 3D, longer name like Box Jump Color Game. I think the longer the name, I know that I take it back. The longer name doesn't make a difference. But if you have the keyword that you think people will be searching on in it, then it does make a difference. Color Game, I don't think would be so Box Jump Color Game are 3 words that are very common, and it might not rank very well, but you should give it a try. Yep Bright says, hi Eric. Hey Yep Bright. My AdSense AdMob account is disapproved. Is it because in my app there's no privacy policy and contact us page or screen? Is that the reason it's been disapproved? I don't know. They should tell you why it's been disapproved. In fact, if you go to AdMob and go to the policy center, right? It's policy center. That's what it's called. I think I showed this on my app once, on the video once. So let me just show this because I have some of them. Actually, I'm not going to show it, but because I can't block out certain sections. But yeah, if you go to AdMob, unless the whole account is suspended, you should have something. If you don't have that, then you should have at least an email from them. And if they haven't said the reason why, you should do it. You can't fix it if you don't know what the issue is, right? That's just it. You'd have to. I'm not sure why they would do it. John Mollahan says, great to see such a good turnout to the stream. Yeah, thanks for showing up, everybody. Audio seems to be slightly out of sync with picture. You were speaking Chinese just there. It looked like it was dubbed like a kung fu movie. Ha! Thanks, John. Johan for real says, I make around 25 euros each month. 50,000 impressions, banner and interstitial each month. Is it really low or is it just me? 50,000. Let's see how much. 50,000 impressions. How many impressions I have? It seems low to me. Yeah, Johan, that does seem low to me. Which countries are they? Because that makes a big difference. Because people are going to be serving ads to certain countries, and it's going to be more. They're going to pay more for the U.S. and stuff like that. So if you can get them over there, then yeah, do it. So, Doxy Tech says no more questions. Oh, it's because I called you a toddler. I was kidding about that. Don't take an offense to that. I know I'm way behind. Phil J, need more dad jokes. Guy in Malaysia. It's not here. It's not hot in here. It's hot in here. Dad jokes. I think I fit into that role really well. Sammy Wright, Clone Wars. Clone Wars. Oh yeah, Clone Wars. Clone Wars. That's what we should have called the video earlier this week. Clone Wars. Oh, Sammy. You're right. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if the caption will work with later with live stream. Oh, is the audio still bad? Let me go all the way to the bottom. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm gonna keep talking. Let's see. Okay. Wi-Fi blocker. Copying is a big compliment. Yeah. If you master copying all the best and then mix in, it really does well and becomes genius. Read somewhere, but it makes sense. Being copied. Yeah. You know what? Part of me does like when I get tired of Apple. Well, it doesn't happen so much anymore because Android is pretty well established. But I used to get tired when they would say, yeah, Android just copies iOS. Android just copies iPhone. And it was the same thing with the Windows just copy the Mac. And but it's like it helps the competition. It helps make things better, right? I'm sure Burger King copies McDonald's. Everything. You have that. You always have that runner-up who's trying to make things go better. I get that. It's more the intellectual stuff that bothers me. Like the idea, like I bet if we sat down right now, we can come up with 100 app ideas, right? We can just say, and I get this all the time. Like someone will call up and say, or I will get an email say, I want to talk to you guys about creating an app that will revolutionize the recruitment industry, or will revolutionize the home maintenance industry, will revolutionize this, right? It's like maybe we should just create apps that like tools that people can use that are useful rather than trying to be the next Uber or the next whatever. But like if we sat down, we could come up with like a gazillion ideas, right? Starting with that. How could we revolutionize the recruitment industry? Let's come up with 10 app ideas that do that. Well, one we said the interview app, where you have an interview app where you can do an interview online, but it could be any time of day. And it doesn't just do the interview. It records your screen as you're answering the questions. You're able to answer them. It times you. It takes your GPS coordinates. It does this. It does that. It's almost like you have a real interview, except you're remote, right? That's what you can do with an app, right? And then you have a central dashboard where you go through and you assign people to interviews. They get the app. They download it. They do all that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. That's what it is. And then we have one for recruiters. So you put in your stuff and then you have like a LinkedIn thing. It interfaces with LinkedIn and does all that. We could come up with the ideas. The ideas are worthless. It's the implementation and actually building these things that does. So, and I know I keep saying that stuff. Christopher Onigbo, one day. You know what? You should call me one day. Just tell me how to pronounce your last name, Christopher. What up, Eric? I was wondering how long it took EarAgent to bring in the revenue it does now. Was just want to gauge for the potential of the success they have. It took about 2 years. Yeah, it took about 2 years. Two years. It's been higher than it is now, and it's just been consistent. It's been so consistent. So what I've been playing around with this week is creating ads. So I do have ads running where I'll have and I've been watching the cost per acquisition, or the cost per acquisition, cost per conversion. So my cost per conversion is below the cost of the application. but not every day. There was a few days where it was higher. It was like, God, right? And especially I tried to do it with the other apps, and that didn't work. And I think the thing about the Ear Agent one is it doesn't have a niche. So I tried to do it with Swahili Bubble Bath, which is a popular one. It's popular for me, like people will make the purchases in it. So I was trying to do it with Swahili Bubble Bath, and I think the problem is that it'll put it in front of anybody, right? Like, and it's too niche for that. And if you have a target audience, like a really niche target audience, like somebody who wants to learn that language, somebody who's traveling to a country that speaks it, then that would be a good thing for a Facebook ad, right? Because you're putting it in front of somebody and saying, okay, you might need this, right? And then they'll be interested. But if it just goes in front of everybody, you're like if somebody said to you, do you want to learn fire eating? No, not particularly. So I think that's why that ad didn't do well. And all it did was, like, if you've ever taken out ads and just watched it go, like I put like a huge budget on it. Well, not huge, like 20 pounds or something, 20 pounds for the day, and it was like gone in like 5 seconds. It was almost like I went to Las Vegas and put it on the roulette machine. Go, there you go, right? Oh, it's gone. What? No, give it back. That's how quick it went. But the other ones, so I've got like a really low bid price on the Ear Agent, but I've only been getting like 10 conversions a day or something. So it's so like the lower. So when I raise the CPI target, the target cost per conversion, then the impressions skyrocketed, and then the cost per conversion skyrocketed also. So I got a nice place right now, but it's not making that big a dent in my wallet. I mean, a improvement to my wallet. Technical Ruler says, I'm Technical Ruly. Technical Ruler says, hi, Eric, could you please review this app on Apple App Store? Okay, yeah, sure. I don't have my iPad plugged in, so I'm going to try to do it through the browser. I hope that's okay. Let's go. We're going to so this is we're going to look at Word Connect Flow Saga for Technical Ruler. Let's have a look here. It's still rendering. My machine is really, really sluggish this afternoon. Okay, so Word Connect Flow Saga. Oh, I like your screenshots. I mean, they're a bit busy, but it's also, you've got lots of information here. Make a word of 3-6 letters. Word Connect Flow Saga offers in-app purchases. Play against your online friends or one-on-one. Increase your vocabulary, pronunciation power. Cool. Oh. Tap on the word to know its meaning. Suitable for all ages. Ah, excellent. I think I like the concept of this. I don't know if the it looks very bare to me. I don't know if it's just me, but let's see. What do you have? Pro upgrades $199. Cool. Do you have a pro version of this app out too? I'm asking you. Not looking for the response. Let's see. Cool. Dictionary. It looks cool. Have you thought about putting an ad on there? And the icon looks, I don't know if I like the icon. But again, if it's working, it's where, like, it doesn't matter if I like the icon or not. To me, it just looks like the icon, like, it messed up. It looks like something went wrong on the screen. That's what it looks like. It looks like, oh, there's something wrong with my iPhone. If I saw it, that's what I would think. But I think Technical Rule. I think it looks. What do the rest of you guys think about this one here? Tom Cruise. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I'll just scroll to the bottom. Tom Cruise, have a good time. Thank you for all spending some time and knowledge with us. God, Tom Cruise. Let's see. Back up. Oh, I'm way down here on the. So yeah, what do the rest of you guys think? Technical Rule. I think it looks cool. I don't know. I think you should play around with the icon a little bit. And have a look at that report, because the nice thing about the App Store is you can see that report on how many times it shows up in search. Okay, so let's see. Tech Joe says, get SSL on your Dusky drone site. It's free with lens group. Okay, you got still talking about. Charles Mpanduki says, I can clearly watch and hear you. Cool. Oh, great. Thanks. Christopher Norbo says, it's such a hassle to annotate screenshots, especially when Apple requires 3 sets of the screen and Google Play requires a separate set. Yeah, Apple screenshots are just like the worst. I always use the emulator to do it. And I always use the emulator, and sometimes I'll use even the emulators, the size is wrong. So I'll use Canva, and I have these Canva templates that I use because at least it's the same size. I drag them in there and do it. I think I've done a video a few years ago about using Canva to do it because it's free. They got that little frame thing, the iPhone frame thing in there. But yeah, it is a pain. Usually I'll just do a couple sizes, and then I'll just I'll resize it using a command line script using ImageMagick, even though it does stretch it a bit, especially for iPads and stuff. But it depends on how much I care about it. Sometimes I just want to get the screenshots done. Yeah, Data Plus Co says, how come Spectrum 6 has not been updated in 3 years? Does that affect SEO? Yeah, I would say update it. I mean, this is one thing. I'm updating all my apps. Even if it doesn't affect the SEO and the ASO, that's one of the things you look at when you look at an application. You look, when was the last time it's been updated, just to see if it's been maintained. John Mulligan says, around 4% of my users are getting unknown host exception when my app is making its HTTP call using Volley native Java. Any of your followers know how to fix this? No fixes I could find online. Yeah, if anybody has any ideas on that one. Is it HTTPS or HTTP? Wi-Fi blocker. Testing. You play your role as user and you're happy. Throw against the wall and get real feedback. Cool. Krister Norbo says, don't release a buggy app. The users are really quick to give you a shitty rating if your stuff isn't working, and it's hard to get back from them. Yeah, obviously you don't want to. There's buggy and there's buggy. There's buggy like it doesn't work most of the time, or and there's a buggy like on level 3 towards the end, sometimes something doesn't render properly, right? It's like, it's really difficult to track down, but it's unlikely. It happens so rarely that you're not going to know till you actually get it live. So there's different levels of bugs. You don't want something that is just really, really buggy. So, and you should test on more than one device. I've got several devices around here for testing for those reasons, especially, and I am I'm much more lax about my own apps than I am with client applications. If it's for a client, then yeah, I definitely can't go wrong, right? It's because it's not just the, it's the users and us and everything like that. But yeah, you definitely want to, if it's going to affect you, then don't. So, Arcadius Chimura says, right now I'm working on an app that targets people with, oh, sorry, did I miss it? Hi, 2 years ago I made an app while resting between final exams and turned out to be quite successful. Ooh, let's have a look. Right now I'm working on an app which targets people with phone addiction, gives detailed statistics about phone usage, and gives them the ability to set daily limits for apps. I had somebody contacted me this week asking if we could do an app like that. And I said, I don't think so, because I was actually thinking that it's going to be like with the sandbox stuff. I wasn't sure how that would work, so I just said that would be too difficult to do. Sorry if my syncing is out. I know I don't know if it's the heat or what. Days counter. Oh, so this is Arcadius. Cloud Droid. 500,000 plus installs. Ooh, nicely done, sir. In-app products, $3.99 to $9.99. Yeah, no 99-cent one for you. Okay, so how did the in-app purchases do, if you don't mind my asking? Let's go back to this bit. Let's see, Wi-Fi blocker. On that, can you use trademark if you say blah, blah, blah for trademark, my title for trademark? I don't know. I don't know very much about trademarks. In fact, there was somebody in the comments this week, which was I think it was Steven. I can't remember, but said about registering a trademark for the name, and I never even looked into that. I've had clients ask me about it. How do I get a patent? How do I get a trademark? And it's like, I don't want to do anything that's legal. I just want to produce and release. And so some of this could be my own fault. But if you're not even looking at that. Creepy server tracking. Let's see. Krister Nobo says, since you're translating, what do you do with change logs in the App Store? Go to Upwork each time and pay $5 for each app again, or just keep it in English? I always keep it in English, but you have to do it for every one. So I always copy. So like on Google Play, if you have multiple languages, and I always copy it out, and I just do it in English. I figured it's I don't know who reads that stuff anyway. I know it does help, but if I don't even, it doesn't even make a difference to me. I just do it in English. And if I didn't, I would not go. And this is when you have an app that's been translated. Then every time you want to make any little change, people say, "Oh, you should add this. You should add a feature that does this." It's like, yeah, but you know what? Kind of a pain to have to go through and get all those things translated again. But and this is one of the nice things about having an icon button or something like that. I've actually been thinking about maybe just remove text completely and try to keep it like just icon buttons or something. But Phil, thanks for the web app questions. All the best to you on the weekend. Got to go take care of some kids now. Hey, good luck, Phil. And you're probably long gone by now. Ali Hussein Dunia says, hey, what's the weather condition in the UK? Here in Taraj region in Nepal, it's very hot. No raining, about 43 Celsius. 43 Celsius. Here it's probably about 47 Celsius. No, I think it was like 25 Celsius. I know. I'm complaining about nothing. 43 Celsius, Ali. It's like, it's hot in the office. Yeah, and I did have the fan on, but it blows on the microphone. That's why it's not that hot, right? Every time my team is in the Philippines, and whenever I complain about the heat, and I grew up in California, right? California, well, San Diego, you have the ocean breeze. You go further inland in San Diego, it gets hot, especially if you go like towards Arizona, Nevada. If you go really further inland, it gets hot there, right? So. But it does get a lot warmer in California than it does here in England normally. But maybe I just been here so long that the heat. I love the heat. I love stepping outside, and I love when when you're just enveloped by the warmth of the weather, and just oh yes, thank you. 10 minutes later, you got the sweat under your arms. And you're just like, oh, this sucks. I can't get back inside. Maddie J Y do K says no, the audio's fine at the moment. Okay, good. I'm glad. Sorry, I'm way back up here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going back to where I was. Okay, so. Wi-Fi blocker, patents, trademark, and then copyright, patents, key, then trademarks, and as you say, doing implementing. Yeah, I mean I think I'm almost like I think the only reason I don't go for patents is because I have an uncle that patented something, and I know it took him years to do, right? And I just think that would be, I don't want to. Whenever it says, oh, all you have to do is go get a lawyer, get the thing, fill out all this paperwork. I haven't even done I hate doing paperwork. I hate doing paperwork at all. That's why, when it said the DMCA thing to remove that app, it's like, God, man, I just don't want to do the paperwork. I guess I'm just thinking. And then Yup Bright calls me Tom Cruise. Krister Norbo says, if I change my name only on YouTube, my name would just say Chris. My only requirement for my kid's name is that it should be pronounceable in English. Oh, okay. Cool. Maddie JY2K says, I agree with the icon. The rest seems fine. Okay, yeah, the icon of that one. Wi-Fi blocker. On those rare bugs, Eric, did you do a video? You did a video. Do you fix the bug there and then? If you recreate repeatable bug, then you need to fix it there and then. These random bugs are a pain in the ass if you see it. Yeah, I mean, it's twice 1,000 users will see it too. Yeah, I mean, there are apps that I have that I know that there are issues with, and they come up so rarely that I haven't it's almost like, and I think about what I think about is manufacturing. There's in manufacturing, and I think I was reading stuff about Six Sigma a few years ago where they talked about the defects per 1 million or the defects, whatever. There's going to be some defects, right? And it's like, is it something that must be fixed now, or is it something that, okay, we can still go through with, if I made a release and then all of a sudden it was bad review, then, and it was all related to the thing, then obviously I'm going to jump in there. Obviously then it's an urgent situation that has to be fixed right now. But I'm still getting a lot of bad reviews, and there's no, still getting a lot of really good reviews, and there's no bad reviews regarding to that issue, then I might just let it slide for a bit until I get around to it till the next release. Which, and it's just that, and even then it's got to be something else that goes into that release. Arcadia says, to be honest, in-app purchase works better than ads in my case. That's awesome. I mean, ads do well for me. I can't complain about ads. A lot of people want it. I've been trying to do, one of the questions I get a lot is about how to increase ad mob revenue. But in-app purchase, it just seems like a more honest way of doing it than, I'm just going to keep showing you ads. Because you're saying, I built something and I'm selling it to you, right? I built something, I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff from other people who want to sell stuff to you. You're saying, I built something, I want to sell it to you, and hopefully they buy it. So that's my honest opinion about it. But again, like, I make most of my passive revenue comes from advertising, so it's hypocritical of me to say that. In-app purchase gives people the ability to sync data between multiple devices and some other nice features, so this is probably why it gives it me more. Yeah, this is with me too. It's like the in-app purchase to remove ads has never done very much for me. It's the stuff that actually adds to the functionality. So like the language games, like initially I was just doing them all free with ads, and I thought, okay, well, just remove ads for like 99 cents, remove ads, and nobody's really doing that. I mean, ads are just, it's an annoyance. It's like a buzzing around you. You're like, it's just something you live with. It's not enough to actually pay for. But if you were said, I'm going to give you like, we're going to give you the first 10 lessons, and we'll give you the next 50 lessons for the in-app purchase, and that's something that's actually worth paying for because you're actually getting something else. Let's see. Mark Jamero says, your team is in the Philippines? Cool. I'm from the Philippines, and right now it's 1 a.m. Yeah, I've got a team of, quite a few people in the Philippines. They've been with me for years. Rowena's been with me for a couple of years. Sandy's been with me about 4 or 5 years. I hope she's not watching this, and I don't know the exact number. Johnny says, hey, Eric, did you think Huawei will come back to Google Play, or will they proceed with their Hong Kong plan? I don't know. I haven't even followed up because I know there was they relaxed the language on it this last week. I'm not sure. I hope so, but it's like you wonder if it's like two people get in an argument and just too much bad blood, just too many things were said. There's just no reconciling. Well, I hope they do get back together. The pirate programmer, says, hello, Eric. Sorry. Hello, Eric. I've got a question. Can you please share your opinion if it's okay to publish an app with just one feature for the first version and the remaining features on the updates? Will it do well? I think it depends on the feature. Like if it's the core feature, then yes. Let's say it's let's say you're doing a CRM. You're doing a CRM and you're able to put your clients into the database, but you also want to have you also want to have other stuff in there. So like let's say CRM. That's a stupid idea. Let's say you're currency converter, right? My go-to example app. Let's say you're doing a currency converter and all it does is give you the currency, right? That's it. It's just you put you select the currency, you put the amount in, it will show you the currency of the whatever, and it automatically gets the latest currency conversion, so it's always up to date. Cool. That's like the core feature. That's it. But what you want to do is you also want to have a historical feature. So over the course of time, I want to see how the pound and the pound compares against the dollar or whatever, or I want to be able to see across multiple things, or I want to say I want to compare 5 on the same screen or something like that, something that's in addition to it, which should be added onto it, right? You would have to release something that's useful to the user, right? And even though when you release it, it might not be that impressive, but at least you get it out there, you get them testing it, you get them using it. It might not set their world on fire, but you can at least get it out there. You start playing around with the market, start playing around with the keywords, and if they use it, they're not going to be disappointed because it doesn't do anything, right? It does what they came for it to do. And then when you start adding other stuff on there, then that would be the additional stuff. When we talk about minimal viable product, and I know a lot of people say, won't people complain if you don't release the full product? They don't know what the full product is, right? You have to give them a product that they expect, right? And if you're promising something, you have to deliver on that promise. But even though if you have your idea is to like do more stuff later on and you want it to be even better, then I would say get it out there, and then that way you can start testing the market, start making sure everything works, rather than say, I'm going to do everything in one go and then I'm going to release it, right? I'm going to spend the next 6 months or 2 years or 5 years. It's going to be my life's work. It's going to be the most masterpiece app ever. And I would put everything into it, because as you're spending those 6 months putting all those features in, then you start having other ideas. And I want to do that feature. And then you never go live, right? You just never goes live. Or you do all that stuff, and it takes you 6 months, and it spends you a small fortune, and you take time off work to do it, and every holiday and every evening is spent doing that, and then you release it, and nobody downloads it, nobody finds it, nobody sees a point in it. Then or Google releases an update to Android and it's not compatible or whatever. That at least you get something out there and you're able to test the market and see how it does, right? You're able to say, okay, this title nobody seems to be finding this title, or this is too crowded. Maybe I want to change this title. And some people are complaining about the way that this background looks. I want to change that, and the icon, I will try some different stuff. So what you're trying to do is get people to, you're testing certain things where you can't test other things. What you don't want to happen is someone downloads your app and you're able to test the marketing, but when they get into your app, all they do is leave bad reviews, because ultimately that's going to bite you in the rear anyway. But like you do want to see if people are actually finding it, if it's viable in terms of something that people actually download and use and stuff like that. Let me know if that doesn't answer it well enough. Maddie J2K says, do you think the Play Store is still going to be strict about GDPR consent message, as I don't think the Google GDPR library will be compatible with the app design software I use? This is one of the things so I've been working on my GDPR forms for Corona, because I have it in some of my apps but not in others, and so which is one I wrote myself, and I don't think that Google is going to be that concerned about GDPR. I think it's going to be more the responsibility of the users themselves, and whenever we get to talking to GDPR, and I was in meetings this week, and GDPR always comes up when we talk about storing user data, how we can do GDPR, and it's such a difficult topic to do, to make sure, how do you get someone's consent, how do you make sure you keep their consent, if somebody changes their mind, how are they going to be able to remove their consent, because they should be able to do that. So it's not like you're just showing them a pop-up in the beginning. You have to say, I'm going to show them this pop-up the first time they use it, saying, do you want personalized ads or non-personalized ads or no ads? If you want no ads, you should stop altogether. If you want personalized, then that's great. If you want non-personalized, and again, I still think it's a dumb question. They want no ads. I don't want no ads, right? As much as people say, oh, no, but thing about the ads is they're tailored to you. It's not just ads about anything. The stuff you want to see. It's like, no, it's stuff that's trying to trick me into, because it knows my psyche. It knows my search history. It knows all this stuff. It's trying to get me to spend money that I don't want to spend, that I do not intend to spend. And that's why I don't like personalized ads. And I may be a bit dark about that, but that's just the kind of way that I think about it. People do think that, no, people like ads, but they just like personalized ads. They like ads that are relevant to them. And the only people I ever hear say that are marketers. So, but let's see. Wi-Fi Blocker says, yeah, patents take time, but if you bought the iPad 18 years ago, patented the iPad, you'd be sorry and grateful. Let's see. This is a Hawk. Hi, Eric. Could you review my portfolio website to find work? Okay, let's have a look. We're going to just bring this up here. This is a portfolio. I don't think we've ever looked at a portfolio website before. I'll share my screen here. TYVM. Thank you very much. Got it. Okay. So this is Hawk's portfolio. Cool. So we've got JavaScript game, site portfolio. Cool. All right. I like this part. Made with Flutter and Dart. Hawk, I think it looks okay. What I would say, these two icons are exactly the same. RuneScape API example. You don't have very much. Let's say you were going to do. Okay, let's just go through this in terms of as a potential employer. I would come to this. If you send me this, I would go through, and basically all I see is a bunch of apps, and I don't know anything about them. They all look the same to me. I know this because I get emails from companies all the time saying, here's some apps we worked on, right? And they expect me to click on every single one of them and look at them and go, ooh, that's an app. I've seen an app before, and I know what an app is. But let's say we're going to do something like an app for earthquakes using state-of-the-art Flutter forms, right? If I click on that, then you could have a little bit here about saying what this app does, the needs it serves, the technologies it uses. So you got Flutter and Dart, but I'm sure it's not just Flutter and Dart. And then the complications of this app. This may have looked very simple. However, this uses this has a back end with Firebase, which uses integration with this. Some of the things that may not seem so complicated are this or whatever. So you could demonstrate to an employer that you have a deep understanding of that, and maybe some almost like you were okay, let's say we're having an interview and you had these as screenshots and you just handed it over to me. I would go, okay, can you tell me about it? That's the first thing that would come out. Can you tell me about it? Tell me about this, not what it does, not what it is, but like as a developer, what was complicated about it? What was challenging about it? What did you learn from it? What did you do, all that kind of stuff. So and then also I would say just have something, even though you say it's portfolio and maybe you have another website somewhere where you have like about you, I would have something about you. Say, hi, I'm Hawk, and then and then maybe a picture and just kind of like a nice little stuff. My song. Okay, let's see. The pirate programmer says, "Arr, follow-up question." Is changing the app title and description in Google Play Store increases or decreases downloads? It can do either. So yeah, you want to change it from time to time because it could do either. It's not gonna. If I think you should play around. If nobody's finding your application, then try playing around with the name a little bit. See if you can change it and put some keywords in there. See if you get people to find it. However, the downside is, I mean, keep an eye on it, because if you change it and it does worse, then go back to the way it was. Let's see. Wi-Fi blocker says, bugs, serious or critical bugs that you see once or twice, you need to fix then and there if you're in an environment that is 100% repeatable. Even if it takes 2 days to track down and fix it, speaking for 25 years. I know. Testing and recent experience. I know. Be Smart says, hi, Eric. In restaurant app, what's the relation between the users in the receiver in the restaurant? It's a relation between an app user and a restaurant computer or a computer. All right, Be Smart asks this. Hi, Eric. In restaurant app, what's the relation between the users and the receiver in the restaurant? It's a relation between the app user and the restaurant computer or the restaurant receive commands via an app. I'm not sure I understand that. Are we talking about a specific app here? Sorry about that, Be Smart. I'm not quite sure how to answer that one. Prithvi says, hey, Eric, lately I've been getting so many 1 stars on my app just because some features are paid. Any idea how to deal with them? You see this a lot. I mean, I'm not sure, because a lot of people will say, oh yeah, it says free, but it's not free. and I mean, you have to how would you deal with them? I would definitely say to respond to the reviews, right? Just say if somebody says like, and I assume the reviews are something like this. Yeah, it says free, but you have to pay for certain parts of it. You could say, I would respond with something like, say, oh yes, we do have value added things in there that do cost, and it does help us to pay our developers and make sure that we can give you a more quality product. However, these are not essential to the workings of the application, and we hope that you like it. Just as, even without those features, we hope you really enjoy it, right? You're not making them wrong. You're just saying, yeah, you're right. There are paid features in there, but it's the reasons why is for these reasons, and you don't need them. Like, you don't need them. We still hope that it'll help you. Pirate programmer. Krister Norbo says, did you end up releasing the top 10 plus Chinese app markets? And how's that going? I've only done like 3 Chinese app markets, and to be honest with you, I don't even check it anymore. I don't even think I have a I don't even think I remember the login anymore. So the last one I did was yeah, I mean, I used to go and check those stats all the time, and I haven't checked it. God, I should check it, because it's been like at least a year since I've checked it. It would be cool if it's like a lot of people have downloaded it, but then I haven't seen it in the analytics. Let's see. Techno Joe says, what Android API do you target for the minimum in your apps? I was doing 16. And the only reason I was doing 16 was because I was using the Facebook Audience Network, and I had to use 16 as the minimum. But before that, I was using 11. But now every time I do an update, I think we have to have the target APK. The target APK is 28. Was it 26 or 28? I know it was 26, but I don't know if it's 28 now. And I think the min is still 16 for me. And because I still think, like, if you can have at least one version out there, and I have 2 versions. I have the one that goes, so I have one which I haven't updated in a long time, which has the min and the max. So from 11 to 16, and that doesn't have the Facebook Audience Network in it. And then I do have the other one for above, and that's the one that I've been updating every single time, unless I have a bug and then I have to go back and fix the other one. But at least that way, I know if somebody has their old phone, or they have an old phone, they give it to their kid, and they can't download anything because everything targets the newest APIs. Then at least you have something that they can find, and it'll be something that shows up as compatible for their devices. Waifu seduction artist says, if you're building an app targeted at 13 to 18 years, do you think it's still better to use in-app purchases instead of ads, since most of the people on that age are broke? No, I think it's probably better to use ads for that. This is because the ads, you can still target them. I'd be afraid this. Okay, so I still have not gone through and filled in the target audience on any of my apps yet, because I'm not sure what to put. And it's something I just released all these apps this week, and I haven't gone through it and updated that. But yeah, I would say the ads still, but they wouldn't necessarily be broke. Not for 18. I don't know. Because the ads thing is like, I'm always afraid that there's somebody's going to serve an ad despite everything that's set up in ad mob and all the settings and everything. I'm always afraid that there's going to be an inappropriate ad or something, and they'll get a bad review because the kids are seeing an ad that they shouldn't see. Although it shouldn't really happen, but I'm always thinking that might have something. Let's see. Wi-Fi Blocker says, GDPR full-time job for some companies. Know someone that's their job. Makes sense, but such a hurdle for indie developer. Best to try not to worry. Only one person would be fine. Yeah, that's true. Only one person's been fine. I know. Yeah, this. I did. Removed all my apps for GDPR, and I know some people haven't done anything. Yeah, Johnny says, thank you, Eric. I have to go. TGIF, everyone. Johan for real says, see you. Like, you guys, are you all leaving independently? I haven't even said we're finished yet. You guys are not dismissed till the bell dismisses you. See, Nikita, sorry. No, yeah, we're going to end this here in the next couple of minutes. Nikita says, I effing love this guy, Mr. Overpass. What are the best app trends that are coming up? God, I wish I knew. Do you know what? Should I tell you this? No, yeah. Somebody was showing me some of the construction VR stuff earlier today. They were saying, have you done anything with this, Eric? And I looked at it. I didn't even know this existed. It was almost like Google Glass, but not Google Glass. And that's something that, like, because I just learned about it like a few hours ago. So that's something to do. Oh, let me answer this question, because somebody sent a question on Facebook earlier, which was, who was it? Eric Stevens. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not rendering. Let's go back. My machine is really, really slow. Everything's just slowed down. But yeah, I still think I think voice is going to be more integrated, and I think the machine learning is going to be more on the mobile. I mean, I think about how much we do is still. I mean, how much I do, like, in terms of client work, is still almost like in the web days. It's like, okay, we got a database, we got an API, I've got an app, and I've got form fields. I fill it in, and it stores it in the API, and maybe some decisions are made, but that's it, right? And then the machine learning thing, I think, is going to take everything and just be so much different. It's going to be so much different where you say, I want to take a picture of this. It's going to identify what it is, and it's going to check whatever. Take an inventory of everything that's in the room. Is going to do whatever. All this kind of stuff is just going to get smarter and smarter as we go. And it's and that's the kind of thing where I think that's the one that makes me feel like a dinosaur. Like in 10 years' time, I must be like, okay, so I got this app, right? And I got this database, and you fill these form fields in, and you click save, and it saves it in the database, and then you can run reports on it. Smooth, right? So I want something like. I want something that's like science fiction by that time, and but like a lot of times you're still doing the same stuff. Let's see. Wi-Fi blocker says EarSpy should be targeted at 8 to 800 years. Get your child policy sorted out this week, or your clones will overpass you. Oh gosh, it gets me right there. Wi-Fi blocker. The pirate plumber says, "Arr, thanks for the advice, Eric." We'll be publishing my app now. We'll post it next week on your night. We'll post it here next week on your live session. Cool. Obviously, Nikita, Eric rules. Thank you, Nikita. You rule too. And BizYG says, "Bye, Eric. Need to work on my game update. See you next week." Yeah, that's right. We all need to be getting back to work. Even me, although I'll probably be getting to pizza or some sort of other something, and turn the fan back on. So thank you everybody for showing up to the live stream today. Thanks. There's another video coming out tomorrow. I'm trying to up the frequency of the videos. I don't know how long I'll be able to go, but I think it's I need to get my mojo back when it comes to doing the videos. It wasn't so much that I didn't like doing them. It was more I let other people convince me that I was doing them too much, and I just have to endure the people who say I talk too much, or you really annoy me, all that stuff. I'm just going to keep doing them. So hey, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic week ahead. I'll see you guys on the videos, and I'll also see you next week on the live stream. Have a good week. Bye.
Taking this blindfold off to see what this life's all about. Threw my virtues to the ground, drinking from the tail